Hi you guys, Matcha from Minds Again. So in order for you to be really fulfilled, in order for your life to have meaning, you've got to be growing and contributing in some way. You've got to be progressing, otherwise you just feel completely unfulfilled. And that's why if any of you have been stuck in, or you're currently stuck in a comfort zone, you would know that it leaves you feeling completely unfulfilled. It makes you feel like you're just existing because there's no drive, there's no spark, there's no progress, there's no prospering, there's no moving forward or advancement. You're just simply perishing a little bit inside every single day, leaving you feeling completely unfulfilled. Because as human beings, we've got to be progressing. We've got to be moving forward. We've got to be creating energy that drives us and directs us in order to create more momentum. And the more energy and the more drive and direction you have, the more momentum it's going to create. So don't settle. Be completely unreasonable with yourself. Completely. It's those unreasonable people that have shaped the world to where it is today. It was those people that were completely unreasonable with themselves and with everything else, that were completely unshakable, that had the great breakthroughs, that advanced, that progressed, and that formed and created history to be what it is today. And them as in you don't have to have it all figured out. I promise you don't have to have the perfect plan or wait for the perfect environment, because it's never going to happen. Let's face it, it's never going to exist. All you've got to do is simply take action. You've got to take consistent action on a daily basis in making it happen, in moving forward, in progressing. Not waiting for the perfect environment, the perfect economy, climate, whatever it is. Don't wait, just do it. Get out there and make it happen. Because progress, whether it be big or whether it be small, whether it be one step at a time, even small progress, leads to great outcomes. And it leads to big momentum. You know, as human beings, we've got to be advancing. We've got to be able to choose what our desired direction and our desired growth is within our life. You know, let's take nature for example. Within nature, everything within nature will not stop growing or progressing or advancing until it has fulfilled, achieved, and become what it was created and designed to be. It won't stop. It's only us that have the added advantage of actually making the choice, of how we want to grow, where we're going to go, the direction we're going to head in, what we choose to be or become, and then also to choose what our limits or our limitations are upon ourselves. We choose that. And just say to yourself, just screw being cautious, seriously. Just screw it, just do it. What's the point of being cautious? Ask yourself the question, well, what's the worst that could happen in me taking the steps and trying and taking the risk? And if you can live to the answer of that question, then nothing should be holding you back. Then take those steps and move forward in getting it done and progressing. Because not trying and not doing anything, I promise you, is far riskier and far harder to live with than actually trying and taking those risks. Because it'll leave you living a life of regret, and a life of regret is far harder to live with than a life of actually trying, of taking the risks. Don't ever give yourself the option to look back on your life and say, man, I wish I had. Because no great advancement throughout the whole of history has ever come from people not being able or not being willing to take risks and try until. You take any great people from history, whether it be Thomas Edison or Henry Ford or the Wright brothers or Walt Disney. Can you imagine if they never risked? If they never tried? If they never kept on going until, not ifs, ands, buts, but until they achieved the desired result, until they obtained what it is that they were after. Can you imagine if they'd never risked and they'd never tried? Because men like that know that things like failure don't exist. All failure is merely a different result to the one that you anticipated. Failure is a way of telling you that you need to change your approach, you need to change your direction in order to obtain the outcome or the desired result that you want. That's all it is. I want you to really internalize this, that failure seriously doesn't exist. All it is there for is to say, guys, try a different approach. Try a different way of doing something in order to get a different result and a different outcome in achieving what it is that you want to get. Because progression is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a decision. It's something that you live. It's something that you do. It is a process. So decide how you want to live. I mean, if you want to settle or if you advance. Because you can't have both. You're either settling in life or you're advancing. Because you can only expand by demand. And just like a muscle can only grow and develop under resistance and under pressure. So as in our lives, that is when we grow and when we develop the most and the best. It's when we're out of our comfort zones, we're under resistance. And we have no choice but to grow and to expand. And I want you to remember that what you have will never make you happy. It's who you become that'll make you happy. Especially if who you're becoming is moving you forward and progressing you within your life, because your emotions come from your emotions. And excitement comes from creation. It doesn't come from maintenance. So maybe you need to ask yourself some questions like, what is it that really matters to me in my life? What are the tools and the strategies that I might need in order to get me to where it is that I want to go or achieve? Or what are the limitations within my life? What are those limiting beliefs? What are my conflicting limitations that are within me that stop me from progressing to where it is that I want to go? And then how do I change those or adapt those or challenge them so that I can progress? But either way, just never stop going and growing. Never stop creating your movement for improvement. Remember that both the tortoise and the hare finished the race. So whether you're quick out of the gates or whether you're simply one step at a time kind of person, just following each day, just doing the small processes that need to be in place in order to achieve and get to where it is that you want to go. It doesn't matter. What matters is taking the necessary actions and the necessary steps in advancing you and moving you forward and progressing you to where it is that you should be going and how you should be growing. Guys, I urge you, create your movement for improvement. Thanks for listening. God bless.